Okay, well I'm sure you'll get a few fans after this video. All right, thanks, Bea. I'm putting together another restaurant review today. This time I'm visiting Buster's Fish and Chip Shop, which is also a sit-down restaurant, and it's located on Sukhumvit 33/1. I've put a map on screen so you can find it very, very easily. The easiest thing is to take the BTS to Prompong Station, which is also indicated on the map there, and then walk back towards Villa Supermarket, and the little road to the right, if you walk along there, you'll find it very, very easily. I was very, very lucky today because as well as sampling the fish and chips, which I have done before, I'm a regular there, I was very, very lucky that I was able to meet the owner, Peter, same name as me, and I managed to have a little interview with him. So let's go to Buster's Fish and Chips and let's see what the food's like. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another video today. I'm doing another restaurant review today. I'm very, very lucky. I'm here with Peter, the owner of Buster's Fish and Chip Shops, located, there's not a soy number here, is it? The next one's
33-1.
33-1?
Yeah.
Okay, well the easiest way to find it, I will drop in a map into this video, but if you know Villa Supermarket on Sukhumvit Road, the main Villa Supermarket, there's a road just to the right of it, down there, and it's on the left, but you'll be able to see very clearly from the map. So first of all, Peter, thank you very much for agreeing to meet up with me today. It's a pleasure. So can I just ask you first of all, how long has this fish and chip shop been here?
About 4 years.
4 years?
Just coming up for 4 years, yeah.
And obviously successful, or you wouldn't be here after 4 years.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what first of all brought you to Bangkok? To Thailand actually?
Yeah. Well, I work for an international company and basically travelled all over the world, setting up offices for them.
Right.
They didn't have an office in Thailand, and they asked me if I wanted to open an office, and I said no, because I've heard that everybody who goes to Thailand never leaves. So I opted not to do that for maybe 5 or 6, 7, 8 different locations where I went, and eventually they said, you've got to go to Thailand. I came 40 years ago.
Wow, 40 years ago?
Yeah.
Have you been here constant for 40 years, or have you gone and come back?
I had a year off where they dragged me back to Hong Kong and I had to do a job there. But when that one's finished, I came back to Thailand.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your profession before you got into this?
I set up offices. If they wanted to have an office in a particular country, I would go and speak to the government, speak to distributors, find out what licenses were needed, that sort of thing.
I would imagine that's quite a challenging thing to do.
In a lot of countries, yeah. In some countries, impossible. For example, one of my jobs was in Vietnam.
Wow.
And if you go back a long time, Vietnam was on the blacklist. It was nobody wanted to do business with Vietnam, and that was difficult. That lasted about maybe 6 or 9 months, and I just had to give up.
So when you actually got to the point where you thought, I'll start a fish and chip shop, what made you think of a fish and chip shop in the centre of Bangkok? How did you know it was going to work?
Well, when we came to Bangkok, we didn't have the fish and chip shop. Obviously, it was a long time ago. So I was doing other jobs, and eventually, I enjoy fish and chips. I like fish and chips.
I think we all do.
Yeah. Well, we're British, aren't we? And there wasn't really a good fish and chip shop. There was fish and chip shops. There was places where you could buy fish and chips, but I always felt that I could do better. So we got together, a friend of mine, and we got together and talked it through, and eventually we said, okay, well, let's take the plunge, and we did that 4 years ago, and
been going ever since.
We've been going selling fish and chips ever since.
Yeah. So I've got to tell you, I mean, the reason I met Peter is because I'm a customer. I mean, I've been here several times. I try not to eat fish and chips too often because obviously they're a treat. Just to our American friends out there, I know you wouldn't say fish and chips, you would say fish and French fries, and chips to you are what we would call crisps. So just clearing that up. But I am a customer here, and I've been here several times, and I like to come during a quieter period, like 3-4 p.m. in the afternoon, not during meal times. And I was just here one time and I met Peter and we got into, we're a friendly guy, we just got talking and we decided to do this video. But I can say from first-hand experience that the fish and chips are very, very good quality and the closest you'll get to what you would get in the UK. So Peter, one thing, I did a little short on this restaurant when I was last here on YouTube, just a 1 minute, and I showed people and it got mostly positive feedback, but there were one or two who said, oh, I think it's a little bit overpriced. What would you say to people who said it's too expensive?
We're not the cheapest, but we aim for quality. We buy good fish, we buy good potatoes, and our ancillary is all homemade.
Right.
We make our own mushy peas, we make our own pies, and we use top class. If you, let me just give you a brief example. If you fly on an aeroplane and you sit in economy, you wouldn't expect to get the food that they're getting in first class.
No, absolutely.
And if you're paying first class prices, you'll get first class food. And we like to sort of think that way. We're selling a quality product. We like people to eat it, enjoy it, and say that was worth the money.
Sure.
And so often our portions are quite large, as you know. There's always a little bit left on the plate. And I say to people, I prefer it that way rather than you go out empty plate and still hungry. I don't think we've ever had anyone go out still hungry.
No. And I myself, I mean, I live close to Nana BTS and I get on the BTS up. I don't bring my motorcycle up here very often. I'll get on the BTS and I come here and I get off at, what's the shopping? What's the shopping centre called again? I forgot, it's been so long.
M-Quarter. M-Quarter?
M-Quarter, and the name of the BTS station?
Prompong.
That's it. So I'll take 2 stops. It's the first stop after Edgermeyer, and I come here. I make the journey because it's worth it. Because, like Peter says, you can get fish and chips in a lot of these English pubs and Irish pubs and things, but they're just not the same. They're not real English fish and chips like you would get here, for instance. And I think you'd agree with that. You've probably gone around doing some testing.
Oh yeah, I was living on fish and chips for a long time before we started. Because you've got to find out what the competition's doing, and every time we said we can do better than that.
Well, off the record.
We hope we do.
Well, I think off the record, I'm going to ask you where the worst fish and chip shop you ever, the worst fish and chips you found, and I definitely won't go there. Better not mention it here because Thailand has very strict laws about that sort of thing.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay, that's a good idea. Something I like about coming here for fish and chips, you have all the genuine, you've got to have the salt and vinegar, and you've got the Sarsins vinegar here and the imported ketchup, not the one that you'd buy in 7-Eleven, the salt and the pepper and everything. That must add to your cost quite a bit.
Well, it does, but again, as I said before, we're looking to sell quality. You can't have a nice plate of fish and chips and put on cheap vinegar.
Right.
It just doesn't work. So, unfortunately,
I know.
It adds to the cost.
And I can give you an example of that from my own standpoint. Sometimes I'll go and have a burger and chips. I'm on a diet at the moment, so not too often, but sometimes I'll go for a burger and chips. And the tomato sauce that they put on the table is the local one. It's kind of got an S logo. I don't know if you...
What's that?
I'm not sure what it is, but it's very, very sweet.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse. If you're British and you go for fish and chips, we're not sparingly. We don't use vinegar sparingly. We use lashings of vinegar and ketchup and all the rest of it. So it's nice to see the real products. Yeah. So one thing that surprised me when I was here the last time, you told me that 90% of your customers are actually not Farangs, they're Thais.
Yeah. When we did our initial research, we said, let's look at where the business is coming from, and we said probably 75% from Farangs, 25% from Thais. Just not that. Not that at all. Because what's happened is that a lot of Thais go overseas for education, for holidays, for visits, friends, and they have fish and chips overseas. So when they come back, especially students, when they come back, they want to find a fish and chip shop.
Of course. So do you find you have seasons, like, obviously we have high season, low season. During the rainy season, like now, there's not so many visitors come to Thailand as they do in the high season. Does it affect your business very much or not really, because it's Thais?
Well, because of where we're located, if it's a very heavy rain, we tend to find we get more online orders.
Really?
Because we do a lot online as well.
Okay.
But generally, it's probably no season. One thing that is apparent is that traditionally in England, fish and chips is Friday.
Sure, yeah.
Thailand's never developed that.
No.
Fish and chips is Sunday.
Right. I don't know if you know this. I'll just chuck this into the video for people out of interest. Do you know why McDonald's introduced the fish burger? Probably not. Most of them. No, I know these silly. I look up these facts on the internet. Basically, there was a big Catholic community in a certain city in America. I think it was New York. And on a Friday, they never used to sell any hamburgers because Catholics don't eat meat on a Friday. So they introduced the fish burger so that they could keep selling on a Friday as well as the rest of the week. Quite an interesting fact there. Nothing to do with fish and chips here, but I just thought people might like to hear that.
Well, it lets me say that we've got a fish burger, which is a burger, a battered fish, and a burger bun on top.
Okay, so why don't you tell everybody what you actually do here? Because I know you do fish and chips. You do the well. You tell everybody what.
Okay, well, obviously we do fish and chips, but we found that if there's a group of maybe 4 or 5 people, 3 might want fish and chips and 2 don't want fish and chips, so they go elsewhere.
Right.
So we had to bring in what we call our comfort range, which is non-fish and chips. We do pies. We do an excellent range of pies. In fact, our pie maker was voted the best pie maker in Bangkok in a competition just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, very good pies. We do bangers and mash. Now that is a real treat. We only introduced that about 2 months ago, but it's virtually flying out the door.
Really?
For Thais to eat bangers and mash, I was just so surprised. We'll come in, we'll have 2 people have fish and chips, 2 people have bangers and mash, and they love it.
And that's Thais?
That's Thais.
So they must have been abroad or been to the UK.
I think they must have been, yeah. And we do fish pies and other odds and ends that if they don't want fish and chips, there's a good choice for them to select from,
Right. So I personally didn't know about the online ordering. So do you deliver them, or is there a third-party company delivers them, and how much does that add on to?
Grab, Panda, Robin Hood, Line. So if people log onto our website, there's all the information there.
And is it advertised anywhere else? Because people tend to forget specific websites for, they tend to go onto companies like Grab and delivery companies where they have, everything on there.
Well, you can just type in best fish and chips in Bangkok.
And you come up there, do you?
And we'll come up.
Oh, excellent. I can see you've got a real passion for your fish and chips there when you're talking about your pies and your bangers and mash and stuff.
I like fish and chips. I love pies.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I have a weakness, even on a diet, I'll come here maybe just have the cod itself and, try not to eat the chips because it's carbohydrates. And I know that the fish can be a bit, it's not oily actually. A lot of fish and chip shops that I used to go to in the UK, what put me off, they were very, very oily, but they're not too bad here. They're quite good. Okay, I mean, it's really interesting. I think the best thing we can do is go downstairs and have a look what the girls are frying and just have a look at the menu and
why not?
Show people what the interior is like. Because we're actually on the 2nd floor here. There's a 3rd floor as well, but the main dining area, the main dining area is on the ground floor. So we'll pop down there now and let's see what's happening down there. I noticed when we came in that you're into these jigsaws. This is a huge jigsaw puzzle. What is this about actually?
Initially, because we cook everything fresh, people have to wait maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And I thought, I could come and do the jigsaw. But we found out that most people spend 10 or 15 minutes on their phone.
They do, yeah.
So what we do every Monday night, we have what we call our jigsaw night, and people come in, maybe 4, 5, 6 people, and we stand around, chat, maybe drink a glass of beer, and do the jigsaw.
That's amazing that people are still interested in this sort of thing.
You'd be surprised.
Like you say, the first thing I do when I'm, if I'm waiting for anything, not just food, is I get my phone out and I start looking at TikTok videos and playing about.
Yeah,
that's great. That's on a Monday night. Anybody can come along, can they?
Yeah, I mean, basically people come anytime, but Monday we make it a little bit more formal.
Right.
Anybody who comes along gets a free cup of coffee.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so this is the main dining area. Peter's going to do some fish and chips for us, but there's a familiar face right here. You might recognise Bob from the Indian restaurant review we did. How are we doing, Bob?
Hi, fine.
And you're a great fan of fish and chips as well, right?
Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. It's not like we arranged it. Okay, so they do a good selection of beers as well. You can see they've got Heineken, Abbott's, Guinness, and various soft drinks, what have you. And quite a very clean preparation area there. Now, I will mention that this time of the day it is 10 to 3 in the afternoon. Normally, if it was mealtime, this place would be very, very busy. But Peter's preparing some fish and chips, and I'll show you what the food's like in a sec. Everybody I put on camera, I do ask for permission. I don't shove my camera in people's face. So, hello, how are you? And may I ask your name? B, okay, lovely. And you take the orders for the fish and chips. So how long have you worked here?
1 year.
1 year. And do you like it?
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, well, I'm sure you'll get a few fans after this video. All right, thanks, B.
Thank you.
Right, so the fish is getting prepared there. Lovely. That looks nice and golden. Very nice. And I can see over here we have some garden peas. And is that male? Yep. Male, yeah. Lovely. And some fresh lemon there. Ooh. Okay, so I've roped Bob into this video. How do they look, Bob?
Oh, they look gorgeous. Yes.
So you've got cod and chips, peas, and some mayo there. Lovely. Well, I'm going to let Bob tuck into these.
Thank you.
And I'll be turning off the camera and I'll eat mine after this.
Oh, it smells gorgeous.
It's not
yes.
oil at all, is it?
No. No. Wonderful.
Good? Would you recommend coming here or not?
Definitely. It's crispy. Lovely.
Great. I better get stuck into mine. Wow, I am stuffed. I've just had a large cod and chips, so the diet's out the window today. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you for coming.
Look, guys, I just want to be very clear about something. I haven't been paid any money. I'm not getting any freebies. I decided to make the video because I do think it's an excellent place. There's a lot of English people here who do like fish and chips occasionally. Sometimes what happens in the comments when I make these kind of videos, people will say, oh, you're in Thailand and you're eating fish and chips. Why don't you eat Thai food? Well, I eat Thai food every day, as I'm sure you do, right, Pete?
Yep.
You have a Thai partner, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know. I met her. So of course we eat Thai food, but every now and again you fancy food from your own country, and this is a great place to come, and this is where I personally come to have fish and chips, so I highly recommend it. Again, Peter, thank you very much for showing me around. The fish and chips are great, and yeah, I'll continue coming here as a customer.
Good.
Thanks again.
Thank you.